Welcome to Making HERstory. This isn't polished success stories. This is the fire, the chaos, the gut punch truth of women who refuse to play small. The real, feral stories. The messy, bold, audacious stories that flip the table and set shit on fire. This is where we roar. It's Ashley Crabb. Buckle up, babe. We're making HERstory. Hello, babes, and welcome back to another episode of Making HERstory, the space where women stop shrinking, share their truths, and turn their moments into roars. In case we haven't met yet, I'm Ashley Crabb, and I am the only story-driven experience curator who helps female entrepreneurs transform their personal stories into unforgettable brands and community spaces. Events, memberships, retreats that build belonging, trust, and visibility. I am so excited to have you listening today because we are talking about something that feels like a full body awakening, something that has been 33 years in the making. We are talking about what it means to finally step into your magnetic power. This isn't about becoming someone new, someone different. It is about finally being brave enough, being audacious enough, being feral enough to truly show up as who I have always been, who you have always been. For almost 33 years, I have been dimming my light, molding myself, and waiting for this moment where I feel ready. I always knew that I had a fire inside of me. I always knew that I had this magnetic charge that could not just pull people towards me, but pull people together to make people feel something, to make women start a movement. But for a really long time, waiting for ready never fucking came. What did come was this spark, this ignition, this moment, and these choices that literally changed everything. And I think if you've been following along for a little while, I've talked about how August was really this rebirth. It was this defining moment, not just in my business career, but in my life. So I hired my coach, I hired my mentor. Carrie has been phenomenal in this journey. I went to my second annual Build Your Brand Networking event with Jenna Boyer. And again, just like it did the first year, that second event cracked me open. I did a color analysis with the one and only Beth King. She is rocking her business, and she showed me the mirror that I'd been afraid and too scared to pick up and look into. And all of these things, all of these choices and decisions and actions I was making allowed me to start showing up differently. But more importantly, start showing up for myself, start showing up for my family, start showing up for the other women in my life, in our communities, and our networks. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like I was chasing anything. I didn't feel like I didn't feel like this fat freaking hamster on this stupid, wonky hamster wheel. I felt like I was truly embodying myself. And this shift was real subtle at first. It was very subtle. I feel like this shift was very much only noticeable to myself, to the immediate people in my life, to my mentor, to the women in my sisterhood, to the women closest to me. This shift was subtle, but I felt it in my freaking bones. It was like my nervous system finally caught up to my soul. And I have a whole hell of a lot of work to do. on my nervous system and my mindset, but it felt like things in me were finally aligned. We're finally connecting with each other. Like my body, my mind, my soul, it's like everything in me realized that we were safe to shine, that now was our time to shine, and that we were safe and okay, validated and worth doing so. So like I said, August this year, August of 2025, it wasn't just a month for me. It was a rebirth. It was a rebirth from, I mean, we can talk business. It was a rebirth from it's the crab that can to it's Ashley Crabb. It was a rebirth of me, the woman, the wife, the friend, the entrepreneur, the mother. August was a rebirth. It was me walking into rooms that I used to only dream about being in and making an impact in. It was meeting women who didn't just see me, they reflected me. And the truth is, like, I didn't have some brand new plan. Like this, everything that happened and everything that occurred, it wasn't like it was some new wheel invention, right? I just finally had that mirror held up to me, and I took the chance and I looked back. I looked back at myself, and I saw the woman that I was this whole time. I saw the woman that I had been building this whole time. That woman had always been there. She was always inside of me, but she was too nervous, scared, shamed to look back and to speak back. But that's the thing. That's the thing about power. That's the thing about stepping in to your magnetic power. It doesn't necessarily arrive and present to you in a pretty package with a pretty bow on it when the universe says, okay, this is the perfect time, right? I mean, the universe shows it to you at the perfect time, but you're never ready, right? So it shows up with this little whisper inside of you that just keeps growing and growing and growing. Because the more that you start to believe that whisper, the universe and the world rearranges itself to meet you there. So you thought you weren't ready. You thought you were waiting for the perfect time to be ready, but you slowly started to listen to that voice inside your head, to let that whisper become louder and louder and louder until it roared. And then the universe said, here you fucking go. Here are your oysters on a silver platter. The world is your disco ball. It is in your hands. Take it. Take it. Jump back into this color analysis because Beth was recommended to me from my mentor, my coach, Carrie. I had been talking to her about just wanting to do something for me, wanting not, and I mean, a lot of it came from wanting to do something for myself after becoming a mom and after having my boys, becoming this boy twin mom. I wanted to feel feminine again and special and beautiful. But I also knew that it was something that was going to change my business. It was going to change my business and it was going to change my life. And this isn't about vanity. This isn't about just caring about what you look like on the outside. This is about your vision of you. You know, like not just lipstick shades or clothes that look good on camera. Like this was about me stepping in to the version who stopped apologizing for my brightness, right? And I think when we look at it from a motherhood standpoint, I mean, I'm a little over 3 years postpartum, and you're talking to the woman who probably for the first year of her children's lives, like I was living in sweatpants all day long. I don't know if I brushed my hair every day. There were days where I didn't remember to brush my teeth until it was time to crawl into bed. Like, I very much neglected myself. And when I started to come back to myself and I started to get ready and I started to get dressed, guys, I was so muted. I was muting myself visually and I was muting myself vocally. And I realized that for a very long time, I was projecting my inner beliefs of being too much, too bright, too loud. I was apologizing for being that way by the way I dressed. And I know that might sound silly, but there's a psychology behind it, right? Like, I was showing up how I felt, and that was dark, muted, and depressed. That's the honest truth. And now I realize that my outward appearance is a compass. It points directly inward to the magic that I have inside of me. And those moments, that virtual color analysis, that moment really changed everything because I think where I saw myself in black and white for so long, blending in, not really defining myself. For the first time, like, I felt colorful. I saw the brightness in my world and I felt like I could show up both visually and vocally with that power. And that was amazing. Personal branding, business branding, like, branding is your story. So we can use a fancy word. Branding is not that fancy of a word, actually, but we can use the word branding. And in my mind, that's your story. That's your visual story. That's your written story. That is the legacy you are leaving here on earth. That's the way you want people to remember you and the way you want people to see you. And my myself, me, my business, I was living in this old identity. And guys, when I tell you that this brand shoot set fire to my old identity and lit the match for this new identity, it is mind-blowing. Like, I wasn't just posing for a camera. I didn't just pick out outfits for this brand shoot. I showed up becoming. Like, that brand shoot was the becoming. Every click was a declaration to myself, to the women I want to help, to the world. It was standing there realizing the fire that I had in myself. And I didn't flinch during that. I knew that this was my moment to be able to roar my story, and it felt like the truest form of embodiment that I could ever explain. Like, it wasn't just about seeing these photos, it wasn't about just feeling good. It was about seeing the woman who had stopped waiting to be ready. It was about seeing the woman who declared that her story, my story, was worth documenting, that it was worth sharing, that I knew it was going to speak to other women. And I mean, how freaking amazing. How freaking amazing to be able to visually tell that story and to embody all of those emotions and bring to life that vision that you had. Now we're kind of bringing it really, really full circle, right? Like, I was talking to my coach after this, my mentor, and she was the one that kind of hit this nail on the head, and it was a lightning bolt to my soul. But she said to me, she's like, you don't even realize how magnetic you are right now. You are living it. You are living it. And she's right. And I needed to hear her say, that, and I needed hear her to hear her say, you were already her. You have always been her. You've just arrived to the party fashionably late because she saw it in me. Some other women saw it in me. I saw little glimpses in me, but I didn't need that permission, but I needed someone to say, scream it for yourself. Say it for you. When she said that, it was like something clicked. It wasn't about her seeing me anymore. It wasn't about other people seeing me anymore. It was about me finally believing what everybody saw. Finally believing in myself like some of the other powerful women in my life believe in me. And that was the final nail on the head. My story isn't something I just tell to people. It isn't something I just share with you. It is something that I live every single day. It is something that I want to live. I want to live out this story. I want to continue to create this story. And we talk about power, and it can be kind of, this triggering word, but power, baby. Power isn't something you chase. It's not something that you take from others. It's not something that you demand. Power rises when you rise. Power rises when you stop apologizing for being you. We've been taught that we have to be hard or soft, that we have to speak this way or that way, that we have to wait for the world to tell us when we're ready. But feral, powerful women don't fucking wait. We rise, we build, we roar. We roar. We remember that our story is something that we shouldn't be afraid to tell. It is the one that is going to set us free and set other women free. We remember that when one of us chooses to speak up, the ground literally shifts for every single one of us. We remember that we're not too much. None of us are too much. We are magnetic. We are magnetic. And every single time you put yourself into that truth, when you step into that truth, when you shine into that truth, we give every single woman watching not permission, but the audacity to do the same. If you're standing in this in between space of, if you're ready to stop hiding behind almost and someday, like, this is your freaking sign. This is your freaking sign to start moving, baby. Start with your story. Start with your story. Start writing it down. Start visualizing it. Start embodying the woman that you were made to be. Start embodying the person, the woman that you want the world to know. You can do this. You can freaking do this. And if you need a little bit of help doing this, download my free guide, the Tell Your Story Starter Kit. Let it pull you back to yourself. Go deeper, roar louder, rise. Rise. And then once you do this, schedule your 30-minute clarity call with me. Let's burn that freaking blueprint that you've had ingrained in your brain. And let's build something that finally sounds like you, that finally speaks to the woman that you are, that finally speaks to the women you want to speak to. Because your power isn't waiting for you, baby. Your power is already here. It is already yours. You just have to remember and claim it. It's Making HERstory, and this is where we roar. Tune in next week, babes. I can't wait to see you then.
You've been listening to Making HERstory. Remember, your story isn't optional. It's your fire, your power, and the heartbeat of every space you build. So take up space, tell it raw, and keep building the kind of legacy that can't be ignored. It's Ashley Crabb, and I'll be back with more bold, brave, feral stories soon. And if you want to stay feral with me, hit subscribe, share this with your sisters, and let's make herstory louder together.